Are we rolling in five, four, three, two, one? Amongst all the HBCU stories that have been great during this college basketball postseason, none greater than that of Prairie View A&M. And yeah, I'm pleased, honored, and privileged to have my boy on my show to talk about his success. And I promise to limit the "I told y'all so's" to no more than three in the next few minutes. Anton Goff, the athletic director of Prairie View A&M. My brother, first off, congratulations. I'm so proud and happy for you all because I know how passionate your alumni fan base is. I know how passionate your community is. And I just couldn't be more happy for you. What's it like to bask in the glow of the success of your basketball program, especially given that the shadow of the football program just permeates the entire program?
No, man. First of all, thanks for having me on, brother. Good to see you, man. Long time no see. Yeah, man, excited about it. The fact that we came in that tournament as an 8 seed of the SWAC, and then 4 games in 5 days and won it all, man, was great. We came in with great momentum, and you know how it is, man. You know, you want to peak at the right time, and we just happen to peak at the right time. And so it's been a quick run, man. Like going from the whole SWAC tournament and then straight to Dayton for the first four, and then you win that game against Lehigh, and then an hour later after the game, we're on a flight headed to Tampa to face Florida. And so it was an exciting run, man, and we made some history. And now our goal is to build on that momentum.
Well, you not only are building on the momentum of a basketball program, your football team was a half away from winning the national championship this year. How difficult was it for the program to emotionally get over the way that the loss went down? Because it was a successful season as soon as you kicked off in Atlanta. But
Yeah.
to be a resilient program, a cloud like that over lesser programs would have been somewhat devastating, but you just seem to hit the ground next season and keep it moving.
Yeah, man. We can't get caught up in that. Obviously, we felt like we were super close and we didn't get the job done. And so, it just fuels our fire to continue to go, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, win or lose, as soon as that game was over, we moved to the next season, man. You know what I'm saying? And so, that's the mentality of this program. What Coach Jackson's brought in, same thing with Coach Smith on the basketball side, man. We were 5-27 last year, in basketball. And so, for him to flip that thing like he did, man, and fight through that's what we're building here, man, at PV, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not about, you do something monumental and you want to rock and you live off of that for the rest of your career. Like, no, man, up next, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got a brand new team. This team that we have in football hasn't won anything. You know what I'm saying? It's a brand new team, and so we can't have guys coming in talking about their SWAC champs. Like, no, man, we got to go out there and win another SWAC championship, and that's what we're working on.
Anton Goff is our guest. He is the athletic director of the SWAC football champion Prairie View A&M team, and we also got him as a NCAA field of 32 member, which is an incredible thing. But I want to talk about where it began because a lot of people around the country don't know that you grinded to get where you are. All right. And we met when you were athletic director at Bowie State. I talked to Daryl Brooks yesterday. He sent you a shout out. I will keep that between us.
Yeah, yeah. That's my guy.
But he definitely did treat you. But I want to go back because I think yours is a walk that a lot of HBCUs need to understand because you cut your teeth at a D2, if you will, and after leaving University of Maryland, and then you were able to learn some things, I guess, as a CIAA Division II AD that you've been able to move forward with as a SWAC Division One AD. What'd you learn in the DMV that's helping you right now down at PV?
I think, man, first of all, I had a great experience at Bowie State, man. Similar to here, we won the CIAA, participated in NCAA a couple times, me and Coach Brooks. That's why that's my guy. But for me, man, I've always taken the mentality that there's no job too big for me, as far or too small for me. As far as I remember at Bowie, man. Sometimes before a game, I was out there mopping the floor. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
On the court. You know what I'm saying? And so I just learned how to grind at Bowie, man. And I've taken that. Left Bowie State, became the AD at University of Hartford in Connecticut, then became the AD at St. John's University in New York City, then the senior associate AD at Northern Illinois, and then the AD here at PV back in August of 2023. And for me, man, it's always been about the people, right? My job as an AD has always been to help others, and that hasn't changed from when I worked at Michigan State to Maryland to Bowie State to PV, right? It's always been the same: help people, right? Help my coaches, give them the resources to compete for championships, help our student athletes to have a great student athlete experience, right? And I've always felt like part of a great student athlete experience is being able to compete for championships, right? That's why we're in the business of winning games and graduating student athletes and developing them into productive people in society. And so I've always looked at every decision I make within an athletic department. How can we compete for championships? How can we graduate student athletes? How can we personally develop them to become from young people to grown people?
Well, I want to talk about a legend in your family, like your mom. All right. Let's be real for a second. I mean, the brilliance of your mother is so awe-inspiring, right? That before there was Black Girl Magic, there was your mother. Let's be real
Yeah,
about
yeah,
that. A really accomplished athletic administrator, uh, gender aside. But what was
yeah,
it like having her as a role model? Because in that time that she was coming through, there were still barriers, yet she was still
absolutely.
able to overcome. Did she pass that down to you?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Having her as a role model, you know what I'm saying? My mom, it's just been me and her growing up my entire life. And so I remember growing up in Pittsburgh, man, and when I wasn't in school or at a practice, I was on the University of Pitt's campus because that's where my mother was an athletic administrator. And so she would put me in people's offices when she'd go to another meeting. And as a young kid, I was inquisitive. I'd ask, "Hey, what are you guys doing here?" They'd be like, "Hey, this is development office. We raise money. This is the ticket office. This is compliance office. This is strength and conditioning, marketing, all that." So by the time I was like 13, 14, I knew what it looked like for a big time athletic department and behind the scenes, right? And so this has been a family business for us. My mother was an assistant AD at University of Pittsburgh, and then she was senior associate AD at VCU, then the athletic director at Virginia State, and then a long time senior associate commissioner at the Horizon League. So this has been a family business for us. It's almost like a coach's son who grows up in a
Right.
gym and then becomes a coach. I was a administrator's son who grew up on the campus of a college athletic administration and got into college athletics. And so, yeah, man, it's been good to have her and be able to bounce things off her throughout my entire career, because everything I'm seeing, she's already seen and done several times.
And so I'm sure you're not at all shocked by this new rise in women's athletics, where it's no longer separate but equal. It's just equal. Can you
Yeah,
talk about the landscape of how, with this emergence, and Prairie View's been really successful as far as women's sports are concerned. I mean, softball is something different. I mean, women's basketball, even when I was heavy on the beat, Cynthia Cooper was a coach for a hot second. Talk about the evolution of women's sports inside the games, and where do you see that moving forward?
yeah, it's been awesome, man, to be a part of that. You know what I'm saying? Like everywhere I've been, I've tried to advocate for female sports, man, as well as men's sports. And so, I'm a girl dad, so
Right.
it's a close to heart for me. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, growing up with my mom being a role model, I've always seen females in leadership positions. Right. I worked for a female at University of Maryland two different times. Debbie Yao was my athletic director. So
Mhm.
to me, that's just normal, right? To other people, it may be like amazing, but to me, it's always been normal in my career and in my life. And so, women's sports are important, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? I want to make sure that in my leadership position that I'm advocating for the promotion of women's sports, right? I think it's very important in the development of young females coming up that want to be in the sports. You see now there's more and more females in football,
Mhm.
right? we've got females on our staff, right? You know what I'm saying, in administrative positions of football or assisting coaches on the field. And so now it's just become normal, man. And so I love to see it, man, because what it does is now it doesn't limit you to the talent that you bring in. A good administrator is a good administrator, right? A
Right.
good coach is a good coach, you know what I'm saying? And a good teammate is a good teammate. So, it's good to see, man. And I'm going to keep doing my part to advocate for women's sports.
This is Anton Goff joining us here on Sports Rap Network. He is athletic director at Prairie A&M, one of the rising, I guess you would call mid majors in intercollegiate athletics. And again, talking to our friend Daryl Brooks yesterday, I wanted to get your thought, having worked in the various places. How do we define Cinderella now? Time was Cinderella was this, startup from like Loyola Chicago,
Yeah.
University of Charleston and stuff like that. But Brooks makes a really good point. You have to start looking at Cinderellas based upon seeds now rather than story. Do you see it? And is that a cool way for the game to evolve?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's cool, but it is what it is right now, right? You know what I'm saying? Because I'd love to be able to say, hey, man, Prairie View got to the Sweet 16.
Right.
But I mean, you look at a Texas now, right? All the resources Texas has, they're in like an 11 seed or whatever. They're Cinderella now, right? You know what I'm saying? And you'll never have thought that a team or a program like a Texas can be a Cinderella, but that's the way it is now because there's so much NIL money involved in sports these days that, it's all about the big boys who can afford it. And now, like you said, it's about seeding.
How tough is it for you to get a game with a major program now, given what you've done? Because it seems like when the mid majors start winning and become a thorn in the side, it's tough to get the games that you need. They're scared about, what was once RPI, now
Yeah.
quad one wins, and you guys are just, trying to make a name and be competitive. What is it like to overcome those hurdles?
Well, shoot, on both ends, football and basketball now, it's getting tougher, right? Now there's still a lot of opportunities out there, but it's getting tougher because one, like say on football, the power fours are playing more conference games, so now they have less non-conference games to play. So what you have to do there is now you got to, play more FCS games. You know what I'm saying, within the state, within your footprint, and then find maybe one bye game here or there. On the basketball side, there's still opportunity because you still got the MTEs, you still got those games. They still have to play somebody, right? Now, when you're Miami of Ohio, you know what I'm saying, and you're undefeated, that's a little different, right? You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
A lot of people don't want to play an undefeated team that went 30 games, you know what I'm saying, or McNeese State, who also has a lot of NIL money, just like these other G5s or these other Power Four teams. So for us, we're still able to get games, and so obviously we want to make sure that we're being competitive on the national landscape. For us, it's about being an elite program at our level, right? Not just the SWAC, but for football, FCS, trying to get in that top 25. In our basketball program, making sure that we're up there in the SWAC, but also, the one thing that we have to battle is that being in Texas, we got to fight a lot of schools, right? There's a lot, let's take out Texas A&M, Texas, SMU and those guys, but we still got to fight Sam Houston, Stephen F. Austin, Incarnate Word. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these Southland Conference teams, uh, you know, to figure out how we can recruit the state of Texas.
And if you can recruit the state of Texas, you can do extremely well. Last question before I let you go, bro. The growth of the SWAC has just been phenomenal in the last, let's say, 5 to 7 years. The impact of Coach Prime continues to be affected. Having you were there before he got there, you saw the momentum. He leaves and they still keep it. How big was that? Do you see a trickle down from that that's helping you?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, man, the commissioner has done a great job of leveraging the SWAC market, right? And obviously Coach Prime coming in, he brought a lot of attention to the SWAC, and I think that the commissioner has done a great job of keeping that attention on us. Right now, obviously, we got to still keep winning and those type of things. And Jackson State's done a great job, and I think we're doing a good job in Alabama State, and Southern just hired a new coach, and so there's a lot of attention when we make changes via coaches, SWAC TV. You know what I'm saying? Those type of things.
SWAC
So
TV is huge.
yeah,
Huge.
I think that we're doing a great job SWAC wise. We actually just went out as a football staff and visited Coach Prime in Colorado. Had a great time going out there, seeing what they do as their operations and swapping some ideas. And so, those type of things, you don't get those opportunities without the limelight being shined on you, right? And so I think we're doing a great job, and I think we're going to continue to keep that momentum going, and so proud to be a part of the SWAC, man.
It is an incredible conference with an incredible history, and they've always been on the cutting edge. And you make sure you tell Charles McClellan, keep doing the damn thing, bruh, because y'all making it
No
work.
doubt.
That's my guy, Anton Goff, the athletic director at Prairie View A&M. Again, Laurel and Hardy, congratulations, my brother. I look forward to seeing you soon. And, you've always been good when you got tired of your old swag, and I'm willing to be your goodwill. I still got my
I got
Maryland hoodie. I still got my Bowie golf shirt. So, if you got something with some purple and gold you want to send up the way, I'll be more than happy to
I got
be a
you, brother. I
model for
got you.
your program. How about that?
Appreciate you.
You
Appreciate you.
take care of yourself, my friend. Best of you and the family, all right?
All right, you too, brother.
Y'all stick around. I got more of what you came here for on the other side. It's OG Sports Back on the network and Substack. Reminding you, download that mobile app because we all we got. That's it, bro.
All right,
We are
cool,
good to
brother.
go. I'll be in touch with you
Appreciate you.
soon, man.
All right, man.
And
I'll let you.
you'll see your face on some snippets. I'm not gonna give you ETA, but it'll be before the tip off of the Sweet 16 this weekend.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Appreciate
Take care of
you, bro.
yourself, man.
Yeah. All right,
All
bro.
right. Hey, look, I got a little bit of juice with the baseball committee for the All-Star game, the HBCU Classic. So make sure that I'm in touch with getting those stats, because one of my dilemmas is with my vote is I don't have, you don't see enough games, but I just need to get the stats as a barometer. All right.
All right. Got you, bro.
All right. Take care, bro.
Right. Later, bro.
Peace.